Let's pretend that you want to let everyone know that dinner's ready. So let's build ourselves a kitchen. Here's a little cauldron in the corner. Here's maybe like a table and some food, some generic food like some cheese and stuff. There we go. And you need to tell these 5 dwarves that dinner's ready. How do we do it? First things first, I like to draw everything out that I'm going to do. So here's the plan. We're going to have a cook, and we're going to have 5 dwarves, and the cook's going to say dinner's ready, and then the dwarf's going to say K, and then he's going to go to the next one and say dinner's ready, dinner's ready, dinner's ready. And let's look at the code. We've got our main camera, our background. We got Chef Goldblum with a box collider. He's going to be our button to make sure he lets everyone know that dinner's ready. We got 5 dwarves. We got Harold, Beryl, Beardy, Quigley, and Steve. Each one of our dwarves has a dialogue box, so it's going to pop up some text on them introducing themselves and saying what they're going to do for dinner. Let's go ahead and start with Chef Goldblum, and let's make our first script called Dinner's Ready. And put that on Goldblum. Alright, let's look at the code. First, we don't need starter update. Get rid of it. And we need to make an array of dwarves so that we can talk to them all. Alright, there's our array. It's an array of game objects called dwarves. And now we need to figure out how to check and actually trigger that dinner's ready. So let's just trigger it by clicking Chef Goldblum. And let's just have the console tell us that dinner's ready. Alright, let's make sure this works. Run. Click our chef. Dinner's ready. We know it works. Let's go ahead and write a for loop so we can iterate through all the dwarves and get them to give a response. And now we're kind of at a stopping point, right? We have a for loop, but the dwarves don't have anything to talk, or what do we do? So let's go ahead, let's make a task for the dwarves. I'm going to make a new script called dwarf task. And put it on all of my dwarves. Bam. Alright, we got start and update. We're going to get rid of those again. And we need 3 things. We need a dinner response. We need a text object to put that text on the screen. And we need a function to actually give the dinner response. Here's our dinner response string, our text object, and then our function. We made this function public because we're going to have Chef Goldblum call it, right? Let's go ahead and flesh this response out. And here's what the function's going to do. The function's going to take the sentence, hello, my name is, grab the name of our dwarf, and say what our dwarf's going to say. It's going to put that into the text object inside the dwarf, and it's also going to go ahead and throw that in the console. Let's go back to dinner's ready. And what we can do now is let's grab that current task. Alright, what this does is it's going to go through the list of dwarfs, it's going to grab that dwarf task, and it's going to run that function on all your dwarves. Alright, let's populate our dwarf array, and let's go ahead and give a dinner response. Each dwarf task requires a text and requires a response. Alright, they've all got responses. Chef Goldblum knows about all our dwarves. Press play. Go to our console. Click Chef Goldblum. Bam, it works. Chef Goldblum says dinner is ready. Harold, Beryl, Beardy, Quigley, and Steve all said something, and we can see it in our actual game. So it works. So where's the problem? Problem is if anyone goes out of town. So say Beardy is out sick, and let's see what happens. Boom. So as it goes through the for loop, it says dinner's ready, talks to Harold, talks to Barold, Beardy's gone, and now the for loop has failed, errored out. You never hear from Quigley, you never hear from Steve, and they starve to death because they don't know dinner's ready. Here's another problem that can come up. What if Beardy's in town and all the dwarves, they brought their identical twin brothers? So now there's 10 dwarves. And you gotta tell them all that dinner's ready. Let's do it. Hey, dinner's ready. Alright. Well, Harold, Barold, Beardy, Quigley, and Steve, they all heard, and their twin brothers have no idea. The way we can get around changing things like this is if we use actions. So even though this works, and if you are going to code something that's never going to change, this isn't a bad idea, but you can make it a lot more robust and a lot more reusable if you use actions. Let's see how actions work. Actions are really just reactions to events. So what if there was an action of me making a new video, posting it up on YouTube, and nobody heard me? Users like yourself could subscribe to the event new video and find out that that action happened. So now I invoke the action on new video, you get a notification, and you get to watch all my future tutorials. So for plan number 2, we're going to make an action called onDinnerReady, and we're going to have our chef invoke this action. If no one's listening, it doesn't change the fact that it happened. Then we add in our dwarves and tell them to listen for onDinnerReady. Now all we gotta do is invoke onDinnerReady, and all of the dwarves will listen to that task, and it doesn't matter if we have 0 dwarves or an infinite amount of dwarves, the action still happens. This time we're gonna make 3 scripts instead of 2. We're gonna make game events, good dinner's ready, and good dwarf task. For game events, we're going to get rid of start and update. We're going to turn it into a static class and get rid of mono behavior. Then we're going to make a static event called onDinnersReady and a static function called triggerDinnersReady. And we're just going to send to the log dinner's ready and invoke the action onDinnersReady. For good dinner's ready, we're going to add use static game events on the top. We're going to create a function called onMouseDown, and this time we're going to call triggerDinnersReady from game events. Dwarf task is going to start out just like before, except we're going to keep the start function. The giveDinnerResponse function is going to be exactly the same, except this time it's private. And here's where things finally get a little different. We're going to make 2 functions, one called subscribe to actions and one called unsubscribe to action. We're going to write onDinnersReady, like the name of the action, and then plus equals means when onDinnersReady is called, it's going to run the function giveDinnerResponse. When we minus equals, that's going to be that event won't happen anymore. onDinnersReady. And then we add the unsubscribe into our destroy function. That way when the object's destroyed, it also unsubscribes from the action. Now let's set up the scripts just like we did before in the bad version. And now we hit play. Click Chef Goldblum. Boom, everything works. Let's get rid of Beardy. Hit play. Everything works. Bring Beardy back. Bring in the identical twins. Press play. Everything works. That's why we use actions.